We've got one episode of Amphibia left, everybody. That's right. Only one more. And the promo has been released. There's actually like two of them. There are two short promos. One sort of talks about like a Disney Channel where a bunch of Amphibia episodes are going to be like released up toward the ending, which is cool. And it has a couple clips from the finale. And then there's another separate promo that's just like all about the finale. And we are going to check out this clip that CalebThePianist uploaded to YouTube. Thank you to them. They compiled the two parts about the hardest thing from both those promos. And I'm going to play the clip now, in case you haven't seen it. So take a look.
Before you watch the Amphibia finale,
let's go save the world. Oh, just a minute.
Amphibia is taking over Disney.
Is it just me, or is the moon getting closer?
Summoning such power
comes with parts. Brand new Amphibia.
Pretty freaking crazy. So I'm actually very nervous about this. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. So let's chat. We're gonna do the YouTube thing where we look at a 19-second clip and then talk about it for 20 minutes because that's just what we do. Cringe. So it starts with the Darcy. I can't call it Darcy anymore. The core moon coming down to Amphibia. So this is what we saw in Leaf's vision, right? The moon falling down. We knew it was gonna happen. We knew this was happening, and I have so many questions. It's like, first, how did the core, the little helmet of the core, how did it get up there? How did it get up there? Two, how do you possess a moon? How do you possess a moon? Like, what? And three, there's like a little socket for like where they possess the moon. So it's like, was the core always going to take over the moon? And four, why does the core want to destroy Amphibia? As revenge? Just to kill everybody? Like, I mean, I guess they've already mined up Amphibia of a lot of its resources, so maybe the core thinks it's too far gone and it's just going to go find some other planet to inhabit. It's like, well, Amphibia's gone. Let's go find a new home. But then, like, what? I don't really understand what their goal is here. I really don't know. We'll talk more about that later. Let's just go through the rest of the promo. So the moon's falling down, getting closer, and we see like the Wartwood frogs celebrating that they won the battle after, you know, they were saying, oh, victory, we did it. And obviously, you know, it's not going to be that simple. The moon is falling down. And then we get a nice little shot. What looks like, I don't know, we see Andreas in the back, so like maybe they're on the ground. They're not in the castle anymore because like they're on the mud. But how did Andreas get down? Like, how did he, I don't know, he somehow got down to the castle even though he's like, how did he even get back up into the castle? It don't really explain. How did he get up in there? He only has one leg. Did he just jump with the one leg? Like, we know he has the jumps, but whatever. Anyway, we got a cool shot of the Calamity Trio being like, oh, let's save the world. We could do this. And then Mother Olm's like, hold on now. It's not that simple. But we get a nice shot where it's Hot Pot, Polly, Marcy, and Sasha are looking at the moon, which is like coming down. And the moon is like being, I'm going to guess, being blocked by some sort of force field. I don't really know what that is, but what I'm guessing is, since Anne isn't here, maybe Anne is forming a barrier, trying to stop the moon with her calamity powers. I don't know, because it's like blue-ish. I don't know, it's like blue and green. I don't know, something's blocking the moon. I think that's what that is. It's only there for a second. It's either a barrier stopping the moon, or like the moon is coming down and is entering like the stratosphere, and that's just like the cool colors that happens when it gets closer. I don't know. And then Mother Olm, we get like a little quick shot of Mother Olm, and she's like, now hold on just a minute before you save the world. And I'm gonna guess it has something to do with the next clip. So the next clip starts off with kind of what we saw at the end of All In, with Sprig being like, oh, the moon's coming down. Is it just me or is it coming down? And obviously the moon starts coming down, and then we see a quick little shot of like the moon spiraling down, and we see the core latched onto the moon somehow. I think I saw a theory that someone had commented on my last video where it's like, oh, the core was always the moon, and the core is like the server. They built the moon as a server for the core, and I was like, what? I doubt that, but maybe? I don't know. I'm just so curious how the core got up there and is now possessing the moon to make it fall down. I don't know. It's very weird, but it's very cool. You know, it's really cool seeing it come down. And then we get a shot of space outside where we see Amphibia. This isn't Earth, it's Amphibia, because it's a lily pad shape. And we see like these weird creatures. alien amphibious creature. I don't know. It's like there for a second. I don't really know what to describe. There's just things outside, and they're like mechanical. I don't know what they are. They kind of look like bugs, and also I don't know. I don't even know what these are. I literally just I was looking at this shot and I was like, I literally have no idea. I have no idea what these things are. They just look like mechanical amphibia bug things. I imagine it's just Darcy's forces, gonna start attacking Amphibia. That's all I can really guess. I said Darcy again. Oh my gosh, it's the core. It's not Darcy anymore. After that, though, we get a cool little spiraling shot, which I imagine is just only a portion of the shot. It starts with Anne on the left, and it's like sort of panning over. We see the guardian of the Heartstone, which is pretty cool. I forget her name again. She's there, so I was gonna say, I wonder if she's gonna make an appearance. So she is. We see the planters as well, and then we see Sasha there, Grime as well. And it looks like they're preparing to get their Calamity powers, which is super cool. And I imagine the shot will continue panning on over to Marcy, which it does look like that after Mother Olm gets a really big close-up, and she's like, summoning such power comes at a price, which we'll talk about that in a minute. And then we get the shot where the Calamity Trio are next to the music box, and their colors are being poured into them, and then it just explodes. And that's it. That's it. That's the end of the clip. That's all we get. And I'm honestly pretty scared because of the prophecy. Because the prophecy is 3 stars burning bright come from beyond to expel the night. Should they fight or embrace the fall, their choice will determine the fate of all. The prophecy refers to this episode. So the 3 stars burning bright, easy. I figured out. It's the Calamity Trio. Come from beyond, come from another world, to expel the night. The night is the moon. That just makes sense. I'm gonna guess that's what it is because the moon comes out during nighttime. It's nighttime in Amphibia right now, so it just makes sense. But it's this part that really is interesting. It's the second part of it. Should they fight or embrace the fall, their choice will determine the fate of all. Okay, so the fourth one, that's pretty easy. It's just like, whatever choice they make, it'll either save the world or destroy the world, or worlds. But the third line is the most interesting. Should they fight or embrace the fall? And it's like, well, why would they even make a choice in the matter? It's like, should they fight or embrace the fall? Why would they embrace the fall if everybody's gonna die? They have to fight. But there is a second part of the prophecy. I don't even know if it's the second part. I don't know. There's the clip, right? In All In, where we see the Olm writing. It's after the memory where Marcy meets Andreas, and then the core is talking to Andreas. Andreas looks over at this Olm prophecy thing, or another part of the Olm prophecy. I don't know. It's something. And it's very similar to the first, but it's a little different, actually. And all these sort of things combine together and make me really nervous. So the second part is, heroes chosen, imbued with might, shall be given a choice to abandon our plight. So it's a little different this time. So heroes chosen, imbued with might, it's just the Calamity Trio. That part's easy. Shall be given a choice to abandon our plight. So it's kind of similar to that third line, right? Should they fight or embrace the fall? Instead, it's shall be given a choice to abandon our plight. But why? It's just like, why on earth would the Calamity Trio, as we know them now, ever abandon their plight? Why would they ever do that? And then you think to what Mother Olm said, and we have to think about the Calamity powers thus far. Think about what Anne said the first time she ever used them. Think about what happens to Anne after she uses them. When Anne uses her powers in, I think, the new normal, the first episode of season 3, she talks about how using the powers feels bad or wrong somehow. And it's like, what? Why would it feel wrong? I mean, I guess it's just like, ouch, you hurt after you use them. But what do you mean? What does it mean by feels wrong? I'm not sure. The Calamity powers probably shouldn't be used in the first place because you have to sacrifice something to do so. Mother Olm has a couple lines in this trailer where she's like, hold on a minute before you save the world. Hold on a minute. And then her second line is, summoning such power comes at a price. So it's something is going to have to be sacrificed. There is a price to pay. And that's honestly pretty scary. it makes me so nervous for what this finale holds, because I've been seeing so many theories about how I think like the main theory I've seen people do is the sacrifice of a frog, newt, and a toad, because we've had Grime sacrifice himself for Sasha with losing his arm. Andreas sort of sacrificing himself to Anne, and then Anne destroys his arm, leg, and tail. And then people are like, uh-oh, a frog is next. You know, we had a toad sacrifice, we had a newt sacrifice. Now it's time for a frog, and everybody thinks it's gonna be Hot Pop, dude. Everyone thinks Hot Pop's gonna freaking die. He's gonna sacrifice himself, and I don't know. Like people like Anne's gonna sacrifice herself because her character arc is now complete. I don't know. There's just so much. I do want to talk more about All In. I really do, but I'm not gonna do that here. I haven't even talked more about beginning of the end too. People pointed out that like when Andreas jumped off the castle, that there was like a mechanical sound, and I did notice that. I remember when I was rewatching it, I was like, huh, that's weird. But I figured it was just his armor, but no, the whole time it was because Andreas himself was like a cyborg, where he's like half metal, half organic stuff. I don't know. But I'm just very nervous about what's gonna happen, because summoning such power, having the Calamity Trio finally gain their powers. So whatever this sacrifice is gonna be, it's going to happen. There is a sacrifice that's going to be made. They're not going to embrace the fall. Want to know why? Because I tricked you. I forgot to tell you about one thing. And that is back in the clip with the weird bug amphibia thing. I'm still not, I don't know what these are. I'm not talking about them anymore. Look closely at the planet. Look really, really closely. Closer. Closer. What do you see? It's them. It's Calamity Trio. That's them. In their Calamity powers. It's so small, but you can see them. Blue in the middle, green on the left, and red on the right. That's their colors. It's Marcy, Anne, and Sasha all in a row. They did it. I mean, we honestly already saw them, you know, gaining their powers from the music box at the end of this clip. But we don't know if it actually happened. We don't know if it was successful. There's also another beam coming off of Anne, which is a bit weird. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Maybe she's like, I don't know what she's doing. Maybe it's part of the barrier that she's holding up. If she's holding up a barrier, maybe it's something to do with the fact that she already has part of the power. I don't know. It's a little weird. I think like another limit, because Anne's Calamity powers are limited, right? She only got a portion of the power, because I'm pretty sure when the stone was charging, whatever part of the stone that wasn't filled was still inside Anne. So when you look at the stone before she took off with it, it was still like, it was probably like 80% charged or something. So I imagine the Calamity powers that Anne has are like only 20%. Just a rough estimate. Let's say like 1/4. 1/4 of the power that the true Calamity has. And I think that's really cool. Even in the fight scene with Andreas and All In, near when it starts playing like the K-pop music, it shows like a, when she's fighting, I missed this the first time around, it shows like a little flower, as if her powers have fully bloomed, like she's fully mastered the Calamity powers, you know, of her limit, like, because she has a limit on the powers, of course, but what the limit that she is at now, she has fully mastered it, and it shows that she has come in full bloom. Maybe it's not just the powers, but maybe it's just that fact that Anne herself has come into full bloom and has finally completed her character arc. And I think that's so cool. Like, everyone here has pretty much finished their character arc. Like, Sasha, I was always talking about in my other videos that she's completed her character arc, but I think in All In, it sort of reinforces it, how she's talking about, like, oh, I'm not that person anymore, when Darcy's taunting her about being a control freak. I don't know, I think it's just kind of cool how it's just like, oh, I'm not that person anymore, and I'll show it to you, I'll prove it to you by freaking beating you. And then Marcy completed her character arc of accepting change. I don't know, they're all accepting change. They've all changed as people. What matters now is not the people that they were, it's the people that they are now. I don't know, it's just going to be really interesting. People think the sacrifice is also going to be the whole Anne losing an arm, Sasha loses an eye, and then Marcy loses like a leg or something. And no one's really talking about what Marcy will lose. Maybe, I don't know, she's already been stabbed, so she's lost enough. And like, how is Sasha still moving? Oh my gosh, dude. Like, Anne and Sasha and Grime are injured, dude. Grime lost his arm and he's walking around as if nothing happened. Sasha got freaking uppercutted. I was so confused when that happened, because I was like, I think in my All In video, I was like, she got grazed. And I was like, she didn't get grazed though. I was like, did she get grazed? No, she got freaking uppercut slashed. It's just the fact that, like, the only point when she's in pain is when she's giving the final blow to Darcy. But like after that, she's just chilling. Like you've been like sliced in the leg, just beat up in general from the fight, and also uppercutted in the back, and you're just walking around like you're completely fine. I've seen so many people like joking about it, where it's like Anne and Marcy and Sasha are like hugging at the end, and then Anne like looks at her hand and it's like, oh, it's all red. Wonder where this came from. And then Sasha's just like dead on the ground. It's funny, but it's just like, geez, I know Sasha's strong, but like you were uppercutted in the back with a scythe. How are you not like dying? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's crazy. I don't know if it's like maybe the scythe, it like burnt them off, so it hardens your skin. I'm not gonna think about it. There's no blood because obviously it's a kid show, but I was also thinking like, oh, maybe it like burned the blood, so it just like hardened, so like no blood could come out. So it's just an injury and it just hurts, but like no blood comes out from it because like your skin hardened to the point. I don't want to think about it. That's really weird and gross, but whatever. Either way though, this trailer is shaping up to be something pretty incredible. I guess this entire final episode, we have 29 minutes of Amphibia left, and I'm so scared, dude. I'm freaking shaking, dude. I really am. So even now, like after watching, I'm just like, oh, what is the sacrifice gonna be? Honestly, I wasn't really behind the whole Anne losing an arm or Sasha losing an eye theory, but when it comes to the sacrifice of what they'll have to sacrifice for their power, maybe it'll happen. I don't know. It could. I guess it could. I personally was not backing it at the start, but now I feel like there's a bit more credibility to it. I don't know. I still have a weird feeling it might not happen, but you know, at this point, anything could happen. I'm open to everything at this point. There's just so much stuff they could do, and we have 6 more days until that happens. Not even. It's less than 6 days. Oh, I'm nervous. But we're in it together. We're in it together. I'll have a few more videos talking about Amphibia before the finale. You know, just leading up to the finale. And then we'll experience it together. Oh, my goodness. I'm still not ready. I'm not ready at all. I wasn't ready for All In. I'm not ready for this. I know I say that all the time, but like, I just don't know how I can be ready for the finale of Amphibia. I really don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Once again, let me know your thoughts and anything that I missed. And I'll see you all in a few days for when I look at some of the things that I missed in All In. Alright, see you then, everybody.